So that there we go. Thanks, Tiffany. And Derek says, trying to get my camera to work over here. I'm interested to learn more. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, and I invite everyone, please feel free as you're getting your camera and audios turned on. If you want to take advantage of the chat, just let us know where you're practicing, what your role is and what you're hoping to learn. That would be great. So for the sake of time, I am just going to move us along. And because it is a smaller group, like this does not have to be super, super formal. Please ask questions as we go. I do have some questions uh designated, to take some questions at the end, but I really want this to be, a conversation. All right, Derek, I see you're up. How you doing, Derek? Nicole, how are you?
Doing well.
Good. Let's talk to me, y'all. I feel like I've been talking for like the past 5 minutes. There we go. All right. Now everyone's coming on. Let's just, instead of doing the chat, let's have some conversations. So please tell us your name, where you're practicing, your role, and anything else you think is important to bring into this space.
You want me to unmute and do it or just do the chat?
Yeah, let's unmute. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation.
I'm Derek. I'm a school psychologist in Oconto Falls. It's in Wisconsin, north of Green Bay. Um, our district's doing some learning around AI, but I'd say my knowledge is very uh, early on. So I'm interested to learn more in how I can apply this to my job, be more efficient, and learn how I can utilize it more.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks for joining us. Is it cold out that way?
It's actually not been too bad. It's gonna be 60 up here tomorrow, but then it's gonna get down to like 10 the following day. So typical Wisconsin weather.
Awesome, awesome. Glad you're here. And then I'll leave it open for whoever wants to go next.
I'll go ahead. I know it says Nicole on the screen. I go by Nikki also. I'm a school psych, currently living in Kansas. So I've actually worked in California, Colorado, and New York as well.
Awesome,
And
awesome. Please go ahead, go ahead.
I don't even remember. I was going to talk about the weather. Same thing here. Beautiful day here, but in a couple days we're going to get cold again too.
Awesome, man. What part of Kansas are you in, Nikki?
Lawrence.
Lawrence. All right, all right. Very good, very good. And then Kristen.
Yes, hello. I'm Kristen Fliss. I am a school psychologist in South Carolina, right on the border of North Carolina, so near Charlotte. I'm in the schools full time, and then I also have a small private practice. I've started using Sophia, interested, need to save time writing reports, but I'm still trying to figure it all out.
Very good. Thank you for joining us. Tiffany, do you want to say hi if you're able to?
Sure. Hi, I'm Tiffany. I do sales for schools like AI. I live in Dallas where it's 82. The high is 90 today. And it's only gonna get hotter for the rest of the week, so yay. I worked in education for about 20 years. And now I'm here.
Awesome, awesome. And it's great to have you here, Tiffany. And I am Byron. For those of you who do not know me, I've been a school psychologist for over a decade in the DC, Maryland area. Went on to do some school transformation work at the central office level, created my own SEL curriculum, lessons for SEL. Then went on to merge with a larger company called Seven Mindsets, which is where I met Tiffany. And then had opportunity to create a book with my co-founder, Kelsey Reed, called Hacking Deficit Thinking, and have really been able to do some really neat things, including traveling around the country, speaking to school psychologists everywhere from the Carolinas to Wisconsin to uh, everywhere in between. Even Nova Scotia, which is really cool, just came from Hawaii. And one of the things that I recognize is I have aspirational dreams, which can be really, really big. and talking to school psychologists is, okay, the aspirations are great, but I have 50 reports right in front of me this month alone. So how can I realistically do anything else? And so creating School Psych AI, believe it or not, was me taking 10 steps back to help school psychologists really expand their roles, and really what I believe to combat the real issue in our field, which is stress, burnout, and not having the capabilities to practice within our full scope. And I wanted to leverage technology to help us do that. And so we've been doing School Psych AI for about 5 months now. As I'm sure you all are aware, there has been a lot of attention around AI. For good, and a lot of things still need to be figured out. In that short amount of time, we've amassed, I believe we're up to like 13,000 free users at this point. A lot of interest on how do we get started? What is AI? How can we leverage this inside of our field? Since the top of the year, January 2024, my team and I, we've rolled out a premium offering. And then in the past 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, we released our enterprise offering for districts, schools, private practices as well. And in the midst of it all, we're keeping our school site community at front and center, learning every step of the way, integrating feedback. So what I wanted to do on this call is to really take some time to kind of walk through our enterprise offering, share what it is. It does end this week. And then answer any questions that you all might have. And that's really it. Also would love to kind of hear what you all are hearing, seeing, and how my team can continue to support you all. So with that, this will be our flow for the conversation today. Again, because it's a smaller group, I'm open to tailoring this to make sure that we're meeting you all's needs. And I wanted this conversation to center around the enterprise pilot. I'll share what's included. I'll quickly go through the terms of the program, how to sign up if you are interested, and then take any Q&As as we go through. As we move on, before I dive into the enterprise pilot, are there any burning questions or just considerations or thoughts on anything that I shared up to this moment? Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, so let's keep going. So introducing the enterprise pilot. Have you all read a little bit about it? Have you heard a little bit about the enterprise pilot? A little bit. All right. So I'll share just a high level overview. What the Enterprise Pilot Program is our offering, and we're tailoring this offering for schools, districts, school site departments, departments of special education, private practices, contracting agencies, and those who have multiple users. In addition, there are some districts, rural districts, individuals who there might only be one. We are also offering this offering to those individuals as well. But at the core, the enterprise offering allows bulk users across districts, contracting agencies, everything I just said, to have access to School Site AI. And as you can see on the screen, it gives just some high level details, and we'll kind of walk through how the enterprise pilot is broken down. What we've decided to do is to offer this enterprise as a pilot program. Because we're only 5 months old, there's still a lot of things that need to be figured out. We have a decent handle, again, it's only 5 months old, on what this looks like for individual users. We still want to collect information and work in partnership, forming relationships with districts to see what this looks like at scale, which is why we're billing it as a pilot program. As a pilot program, this pilot program will run for 1 year. It officially starts February 29th, or it starts March 1st, 2024. The last opportunity to get into the program will be February 29th, 2024, and it runs for 1 year. At the end of the year, February 28th, because it's a leap year, February 28th, 2025 will be the end of the program. One of the biggest questions that we have is, if we get in at this enterprise pilot rate, will that rate be good for subsequent years? We're taking that on a district by district, case by case basis. I am leaning towards, hey, if you all find value in it, most likely, yes. Things happen, so I want to leave a little bit of a buffer just in case things change. But if you're saying, hey, we want to be there from the beginning, most likely we will honor that rate, which is $275 per user if you get into the program for subsequent years to come. Here's the big thing. With this enterprise pilot program, it includes a 1 hour professional development. And we wanted to include this 1 hour PD. Derek, as you were saying, a lot of people are still trying to figure out what AI even is, what are the myths, what are the ethical considerations, and we cover a lot of those things. It's important that our school psych community has an understanding of what AI is and how to use it. And so really the first phase of the pilot program, which we're saying from February through June 2024, is getting your department access and then that training so that we're all operating from, a standard set of knowledge. This is a lot of information here on the screen, but at the core is getting you all access as premium. The premium model includes access to the platform as is. It gives you unlimited access to a lot of our features and getting your staff onboarded. That's the first part. And then the 1 hour virtual training. And then everything, all the bullet points that are here is everything that's included as part of the enterprise program. I'll stop here because that's a lot of information at once. What questions do you all have? And what can I clarify?
So I'm not sure if I'm missing something, but isn't the price for just a regular premium user like $15 a month? So
Correct.
doesn't that, I'm just confused as to like why as an enterprise, like what's the difference? What's the benefit of joining as an enterprise as opposed to just joining as an individual, which seems to be more cost effective?
Right. And for now, it's $14.99 per premium use. And so this is the first phase, getting everyone access, the 1 hour PD. The 1 hour PD, the standard rates is $3,500. And so depending on the size, getting, access to the platform as an enterprise user, I mean, that's going to cover your cost 2-3 times over versus what it would cost if you were to pay for a 1 hour training outside of the pilot program. That's the first phase. The next phase, going from summer through the end of the pilot program, is where you will really feel the difference above and beyond. So it includes all the premium things as we've discussed, but then we roll out what I'm super excited about, an enterprise dashboard. And I just want to give you all a visual of what this administrative dashboard looks like. The biggest part of this enterprise dashboard, the central office level for directors, will give you access to monitor caseload management across the your entire department. As you can see here, and these are our sketches of what it most likely will look like. Give us some variation, but you'll be able to see everyone inside your department, how many active cases you all have going on, how much usage of the platform you're getting so that you can see, are we getting a return on our investment? Is it being used? How can we beef it up, so on and so forth? And then looking at the actual amount of cases, you'll be able to measure how many cases are overdue, how many cases have been completed, how many are open, how many pending cases through the entire beginning of the entire process all the way to the end. You'll really be able to quantify it. Then, as we continue moving on, we'll be able to give you all just detailed analytics at a high level and then from an individual use as well, really honing in on the caseload management. The other component of this is you'll be able to upload and manage your own users. We know that school psychs come, school psychs go. And so your district will have direct ability to add users, remove users, using our import system as well. And then what we also have is a user dashboard. So those individual users in your district will have access. They'll have access to all of these features, which will come, and this is above and beyond the premium use. And so rolling out things like a caseload calculator, an entire caseload management tracker, again, to help those individual users from the moment they get consent all the way through the end, and then being able to visualize using our analytics, to see how many cases they've completed, how many are pending, so on and so forth. And then you can see the list of things that we will be building out in terms of tools for our enterprise users. And then the last thing I'll say before I stop, each enterprise user will have a customer support specialist. As a premium user, you just have access to our, which is still top of the line, customer service support. But as enterprise users, you'll have an assigned customer support specialist. So if there's things going on, you'll be able to reach out directly to your customer support specialist, ask questions, get immediate tech support as needed. Krista, talk to me.
Me?
Yeah, talk to me. Does that answer the question? Is that what you were looking for?
Yeah, I mean, that definitely answers my question. I mean, I see that there's some added stuff. I was just didn't know if I was missing something else.
Yep. Yep. Other questions, comments, points of clarity? All right. And then we kind of touched on this, but really wanted to, really clarify, if needed, the terms of the pilot program. Just to stress, as I said, it's a one-year pilot. We can, and we'll be in constant communication. What we started doing is with those who have entered the program already, is building out a monthly cadence where we're having check-in points. So by the time we reach the end of the pilot, it'll be crystal clear if your district wants to continue on. If you all say, hey, we gave it a shot, it didn't work, we want to part ways, we'll know because we want to, work with you all each step of the way. Another aspect of this, we are building out a feedback form so that we can get feedback to understand what's working, what's not working, what are some of the pain points, what are some of the frustrations, what are some of the barriers, what are things that your district needs in order to do the job more effectively and impactful. So it'll be continuous feedback loop so we can always be moving in the right direction. There won't be any surprises as well. As I said, this enrollment program, it ends in a few days, Thursday, I believe, the 29th, and that'll be the last opportunity to get in at this pilot rate. So how to sign up. If you're interested, again, you could get more information if you're ready, like, hey, this is something we want to do. You can let me know, you can let Tiffany know, or you can complete, it's just a super short form. You all might already have access to it, schoolpsych.ai apply-now. That's schoolpsych.ai/apply-now. It's a short form. Once you fill out that form, indicating how many psychs are in your department or who will need access, we'll let you know, hey, based on the number of users, this is the rate for the entire one-year term. You say, hey, this looks good. Then our team will send you a quote. Again, you review the quote, say, hey, this looks good. Again, constant communication along the way. You sign it. We'll send you an invoice. You review the invoice. Hey, this looks good. We accept purchase orders. So once we receive a purchase order or a paid invoice, then we start the onboarding process with our team to get the 1 hour PD scheduled to start going through all the details of the onboarding process. So That's how you sign up. So talk to me, all. Questions, comments. It could be about enterprise. It could be about AI. It could be about anything that you all have in general. But I'll pause here for questions.
Sure. I'm trying to wrap my head around. So like as a psych in a like not a big district like a district of I don't know, just south of 2,000 students, and we're fortunate to have 3 full-time psychs in our district. Um, so I'm writing 30 to 40 reports in a year. So it's not I've got a pretty manageable caseload.
Yeah.
I'm trying to wrap my mind around, and I'm doing a bunch of other things though too. So I have the opportunity to do a lot of other stuff because of that student to psych ratio. I'm wondering, like, is this something more geared towards like a larger district or districts where a psych is having that like larger psych to student ratio? And like, because I feel like my ability to report write is decent, it'd be nice to maybe have something like this to optimize it, but I'm just not sure like in action of like how that looks or like how that's um saving me time potentially in my report writing, because I feel like there's other pieces up there that are time incentive that I'm putting in that I don't know how AI is gonna um I don't know help with those certain processes, because I'm pulling information from different sources other than like norm-based assessments.
Yeah, that's great. 2 points. One, with the report writer, have you had a chance to take a look at our report writer yet?
Yeah, I've taken a look at it, and that's where I'm like I see, there's the different structures of plugging in numbers
Yeah.
and score tables and whatnot too. And then we have another psych in our district who is, um, I believe, tried it out a few times. So she's kind of helped walk me through it. But that's
Mhm.
where, in terms of like reporting stuff like historical interventions and things like that, I don't know like how, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Not that I
that's
don't think it's I think it definitely could be valuable. I just think I don't have enough knowledge, or I'm trying to see where it's going to maybe save me some time, or I could use it to.
absolutely. And so about the summertime-ish, and it wasn't in my notes, but one of the things that we are going to do is for each district that you all will have the ability to have your own templates built into the platform. And so what that will do is, one, it'll standardize the templates. I know in districts where I've worked, psychologists struggle working within a district template. And so you all will have whatever your district is, here's our template. It'll be customized for you all. And then you all can go through the process, building out your reports, export, and it's already in your district template. That's right there for you. And so it'll be uniform. It'll have and we're building out assessments as well. That's one component. If you're like, hey, we have a good flow, we know what we're doing with reports, that's one component of what we'll be able to do. The other component is doing things like getting help with recommendations, being able to reword, paraphrase so that it's more strength-based, which is again back to the book that I recently published, making it more parent-friendly, being able to help with IP goals and development. And then over time, we will be adding more tools to help make it more efficient. And then if you all say, hey, here's a tool that will benefit our district, it might benefit others as well. This is why it's a pilot program, so that we can build it out and make sure that you have access to make it more make your job more efficient.
Thank you.
Hmm.
I have a question about the templates. So you mentioned that our district, like we might be able to like personalize templates and whatnot. Does that include like the wording and the interpretation? Because like I've been playing around with it some, and I just noted like one of the things I wish that could be different is like that I could change, like if this score gets entered and it's a weakness, like it says this, or if it's a strength, it says this, like not really liking some of the wording on certain things.
Yeah, are you talking more about, let's say, I know there was one psych who mentioned, this might be uh looking at normative curve of 90 to 109, but for that test, they use 85 to 115. And then having qualitative descriptors that fit that. Is that along the lines of what you're asking?
Kind of. That's one of the things, because I did notice that our descriptors that we use
Yeah.
as a district vary. So like if I put in like a scaled score of a 7 is low average in our district, but your report might generate it as below. So like tweaking things like that. Another thing that I noticed, I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but like on the Basque, even when I put in areas that are like clinically significant, it always says that as if they're all okay.
Average, yeah, it'll say it's all average. And so the first part of that, what we're doing, you will be able to actually have different templates based on what your district is looking for. So that is something we will be building out in the future. And so giving you more control over the different qualitative descriptors, that's just something that has to be built out. For the Basque, and here's something that's exciting. We noticed that, and it's a function of how we built the templates out. And so if you input a T-score, it's giving you, it's supposed to be set as a default of average. There are certain sections that we wanted to gray out. And so without getting too technical and into the coding, what we've decided will be more efficient is moving towards a PDF parser. And so what that means is instead of having to manually input those scores and then it defaults to average, backing up a little bit. So look at externalizing problems, right? Like our code, we have to do externalizing problems for every value, every range, every descriptor, which is ridiculously long on our part. And so what we're actually working on now, and Ed, our CTO, just messaged me, we are going to add a PDF parser. And what that will allow you to do is to upload the PDF report directly from the BASC, and then it'll parse, which means to separate out all of those scores, and it'll do that automatically for you. And what that means is you won't have to worry about like inputting all the different scores. You won't have to worry about, well, this is saying average and then I have to manually go back and change it. It'll do that for you automatically. So literally all you'll have to do is upload the PDF. It'll give you all the tables that you need and then the interpretations directly inside. And not just for the BASC, but for every rating scale that has a PDF report, Connors, brief, we're going to have that capability coming very soon.
Is that just for enterprise, or also will it be for premium?
That's a good question. I think as a function of Psychs being able to do their job, it kind of has to be uh, available for everyone. I think what we talked about is having access. What we've been doing, just as a rule of thumb, is, a limited access. So you can do one upload, but then you have to upgrade. Um, what do you all think? Like, should that just be for enterprise users, or should that be
No,
for
should be for premium too, because I mean, I guess, like you said, in order for us it doesn't
to do your
really
job?
necessarily work right now. It kind of works for the Basque, but not really, because you got to go back and change everything. Like, I'm looking to streamline. Like, I spend a ridiculous amount of time writing a ridiculous amount of reports, and I mean, I feel like I'm the person you might be making this for, because I just spent my whole weekend writing reports,
Oh
and
no,
I want to not be doing that.
goodness
So
gracious,
it's
yeah.
like, if I still have to go back and change stuff, then it's not even
What's the
really
point? Yeah,
like, there's no point in me even using it to begin with if I already have my own template that, does what I want to do.
exactly,
But if
exactly.
I can like find a way to input stuff and it spits out, like, I would love to be able to customize, like, what is my description of verbal comprehension on the WISC? What is my description of whatever? Like, if there were customization options,
Hmm.
that's where I would be sold.
Yeah, yeah. And yes, we are moving in that direction. Uh, Anyone? Okay, so we have folks from Cali, Ohio, and then Texas. That's like our largest user base. and they're all different. And what we're finding is like creating a universal template is so challenging to where
Yeah.
we'll create something that, and what we've defaulted to is what does the manual say? And then over time we'll be able to further customize. But yeah, you're absolutely right. And that's the challenge that we're facing right now. But being able to give users the ability to customize based off ranges that they use is ideal. What else, y'all? This is good. Nicole, you look like you have a burning
No,
question. Like, should I
I
ask
mean,
this?
it's not a question. It's just the same thing. Like I want it to be functional where I can just, I mean, this is year 18 or 19 for me. So I've written up the Basque 5,000 times. I'm not literally probably 2,000. I don't know. So many times.
Yeah.
And I hate it every time. Like I have so many templates and I'm like, I just wish I could make it better. But because I've worked in different places, I've seen exactly what you're talking about. Like reports are very different, not just per state, but like local practice. California reports that I write there are like 20, 30, 40 pages. When I worked in Colorado, it was like I just had to write up a blurb for the WISC that went into their IEP report format, and it literally just needed to be a summary. Like I couldn't even put charts or tables because of their IEP software that they use. We all have different, California uses SACE, we use Power School here in Kansas. Like there's all sorts of different software. And so when districts use that kind of software, it makes it like adds a layer of challenge too,
Yeah.
because just trying to like format things, I can't put certain tables into my reports here that I've always used, things like that.
Yeah.
So
And that's, we're
it's just
5 months
concern.
old. Yeah, and we want to work with our community to figure it out. And for me, what I would honestly hope to learn uh from this pilot and working directly, with individuals like yourselves so that we can build something, that is useful and impactful. Um, and so aside from, just giving you all a product, like this is opportunity to build something that could really transform how we practice. And we can't do it without, people like yourselves and getting this type of feedback and information. So that is something that I am looking for out of this pilot. Because I feel like I've taken this pretty far. And I recognize that it's going to take the community to get it over, the finish line. So, yeah. Any other questions, comments, feedback?
I think I'm just learning how um, different it can be from state to state. That's Nicole and Kristen, the way you're explaining what you have to do for your jobs is very eye-opening to me, and um, makes me appreciative of some of the things that I'm able to do in Wisconsin, or not have to do too, I suppose. So um, for that matter, so I empathize with probably the amount of reports that you're, like Kristen, you said that you're having to do. That shouldn't have to be that way. So
Yeah. Thank you for that, Derek. Well, look, you all, that's the enterprise pilot. My hope is that for these monthly conversations, it's not just us selling something to you all. It's actually having a conversation about what's working, what's not working, what's some of the fears, what's some of the, big dreams that we have, and really just creating a space where we can have conversations. So, going from the three of you all to 300 by the next one. I'm a dreamer at heart. But creating space to figure this thing out. One of our core values is figure out ability, and we want to figure it out. If you all are interested, you all have our contact information. I'll put it inside of the chat. If you all are interested in taking the next steps, or maybe the time isn't right, I still would hope, that you all share your feedback with us. We're, like I said, we're 5 months old. We're hoping to grow. Tiffany, if you could drop your email inside of the chat. We would love for you all to be part of the pilot program. Doesn't matter the size of your department. I think you all have a lot to contribute. And we would love to have you as part of the pilot program. Any last questions? If not, uh, enjoy the rest of your week. All
Thank you.
right. Thank you all. Thank you for taking the time
Thank you.
to speak with us. Have a good one, you all.